ready? Let's go. 2-minute daily devo for Tuesday, September 7th. I'm in the Contemporary English Version today, and our verse of the day comes from the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 1. Here's what it says. Christ has set us free. This means we are really free. Now hold on to your freedom and don't ever become slaves of the law again. This is a verse that was written by Paul to the followers of Jesus Christ in Galatia, and he's writing to remind them of what Christ did when he died for us on the cross. That how back in the Old Testament, when God first gave the law, the 10 commandments, the law was 660 odd commandments that the Israelites had to follow. It really was burdensome, but God gave it to them because they were lawless and they would do whatever, and they had no idea how to be obedient to serve God. And so he gave them the law, and the law was they had to follow all these 660 some odd rules and do all these things. And if you broke one, then you broke them all. And so before Jesus came, that's what they had to do. Well, see, when Jesus came, that's what God's people, the Israelites, were stuck in. And this is what the Pharisees, the quote-unquote religious leaders, used to deal with. They were law followers. And it wasn't even that they followed the law as because they love God. We have to do everything perfect and follow it to the letter of the law without the spirit of the law. And Jesus used to rail against them, like, you follow these laws, but you don't even love God. You just do it. Well, that's when Jesus came, and he said, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take those two laws, and I'm going to die on the cross, and I'm going to boil it down to this: love God and love people. That's what Jesus did. He took all the laws and boiled it down to two things, two simple things to follow. We want to love God and love people. And by doing that, Jesus said, if you do those two things, you're going to fulfill all 660 of those other laws by doing those two things. And so Paul is saying this, that all you have to do, Christ gives us freedom, where all we have to do is love God and love people. And if we do those things, we're going to fulfill every other thing that God tells us to do in his word. Because if we love God, out of our love, we're going to want to be obedient. Out of our love for God, we're going to want to love people, because that's why Jesus came, to love people. So Paul is reminding us that we are now free in Christ through what Jesus has done. That all we have to do now is those two things that I'm reminding you of. We want to love God and love people. All right? That's it, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.